This is Julie Bean over here at Art Beads, and I am here to make a project with you. So every Wednesday I come to you and we bead together. Maybe we do loom work like we did last week, or kumihimo, or wire wrapping, who knows? Every week is a little bit different, and this week we're going to be doing a very colorful piece. That's why I'm in a lot of color, and it's going to be purple and green. So I've got my purple and green on. And it's going to be using Gardanne beads. And Gardanne beads are wonderful. They're enameled brass, and they're focal. So it's called Gardanne beads, but a lot of times they're focals, they're charms, they're links, really fun stuff. And they're so beautiful. And each one is a little bit different because these are all enameled brass. So I love these. So we're going to be doing a really kind of more of a bold piece using like a really big focal here. So I think that's going to be really fun to do today. So I am just one of several designers. If you are new to us here at Art Beads, welcome. I am one of a team of wonderful makers. We have Becky Dahl, Sarah Lovecraft, Deb Floros, and we're always adding to our team. So we have wonderful people who come to you almost every day of the week now. So do check out the schedule because each designer brings a different take and has their own unique style. So it's fun to see what everybody else is up to. And I see little floaty hearts. That's wonderful. Thank you. A couple quick little notes about how this platform works. There's a little heart icon. If you click it, it makes little floaty hearts that I see. So if you see something that you like, that's fun to do that. Lets me know that you like it. There's also a little arrow that's a share button. So if you click on that, you can share the show with your friends. There's a shopping bag icon. If you click on that, it will show you every single thing I'm using in the show, including my tools all at once. You don't have to wait for me to describe what I'm using. It's right there. They're all clickable. And then I'm going to put my glasses on because I see some comments coming. Hi, Murray. Hi, Julie. Hi, Robin. Thank you, guys. It's so wonderful. I'm getting to see some really familiar faces, well, names that I imagine have faces, but it's fun. Debbie, PJ. It's so fun. We get to chat. We get to bead. We get to have fun together. If you are here on artbeads.com/live, I can see all your comments. You can tell me to, shift a bead around so you can see it better or give me suggestions on what to do. If you're over on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. We're so happy you're here as well. Do comment, do, ask questions, things like that. We'll try to get to those after the show. But if you want to comment during the show, follow the link in the description and hop on over to artbeads.com/live, and I will be able to see your comments if you're commenting there. And I see Mary and Diane. It is so good to be here. And I'm looking at my hair. I've got super frizzy hair. We're having some weird weather here in California. So, but let me get going on what we're going to do. I can tell I'm talking a little bit fast. I had a maple oatmeal scone this morning for breakfast from the bakery, and I think it had a lot of sugar in it. So I'll try to slow down my talking a little bit because I think I've had too much sugar. Okay. Hi, Pat from Florida. Welcome. I'm going to flip my screen right now, and you guys are going to see all my goodies on my bead table. Okay. There is my backyard. Okay, so this is fun. I had a lot of fun picking out things for this show. So if you see on my table, kind of front and center, we have what started it all. Now this is, again, that piece by Gardanne Beads, and it is a Cicada. And I hope I'm saying that right. It is enameled brass, and I love the saturated green. There's a really deep saturated green, and then you have like a light green yellow, and it fades to purple. So what I did was I took this one piece, and that's how I came up with my color palette. And so what I've got here are some beautiful check glass beads. You can see these strands right here. They're so pretty. And if you do click on that shopping bag icon, you will see exactly what these are, and you can actually add them right to your shopping bag or your shopping cart right from there. But I thought that those were really pretty to go with this. You see those colors? And then I loved these. These are 2-hole diamond duos. And I thought the green was perfect. So I had a little beading challenge for myself of how am I going to incorporate a 2-hole bead in with this pendant? And I found a neat way of doing it. I'm going to show you how to do it in the show. We're going to be creating custom links. So these are what we're going to be creating using those 2-hole diamond duo beads. So it's a fun use if you're not necessarily a bead weaver, but you've wanted to use 2-hole beads. This is a fun little technique. Hi, Kat. Welcome. And Pat. Okay, and then we're also going to be using these. Now, these are not pearls. These are check glass round beads, but they sure look like pearls to me. They have a wonderful luster to them. We're going to be using them in a couple sizes. And here you can see how that color really accented it. And here's another custom link we're going to be making. So I thought it'd be fun. We're going to be doing some wire wrapping, but we're going to be doing it a bit creatively here. So we're going to be making our own little links. And then what else did I pair with it? Oh, these little English cut beads. Now, I've not been too familiar with English cut round beads, but they're really cool. They've got like little cuts in them and they sparkle. They've got nice sparkle to them and they're just a nice variation from a traditional round or a traditional like fire polish. So I really like that shape. Oh, hello from Austin in Michigan. This is fun. It's fun to see where everybody is coming from. All right, and then I'm going to pair it with gold because the main focal has the gold accents. And I have a little gold chain. That's pretty. This is a little, I think it's called an infinity link chain. So I thought that would be fun. And so that's for this project. And that's what we're going to be doing in this show here. But I did want to just show you how easy it is if you do find a Gardanne piece that you like. And I do know that we've got lots of Gardanne pieces over at Art Beads right now. And so here you can see that piece. And then I just picked out pretty beads that would go with it. And it's fun because you can make your whole color palette based on your focal. So these are the beads I thought would go really beautifully with this focal here. And you can really have that pop of color. And all the descriptions of these beads are in that shopping bag as well, and the links. Okay, I just saw someone say wire wrapping they're in. Good, me too. I'm really loving wire wrapping. Actually, since I started doing these live shows, I've come to become more comfortable with wire wrapping, and I'm really enjoying it because I'm realizing that you just kind of make the wire do what you want it to do. I think I used to be a little bit hesitant about wire wrapping, but now I'm like, no, I'm not going to be afraid, and especially if you're using something like this. This is artistic wire, 22 gauge craft wire. Okay, move your hands down a little. Okay, is this better? That's really good feedback, Deborah. I appreciate that. So here is the wire we're going to be using, and you get so much on a spool that if you make a boo-boo, it's really not a big deal. Okay, and then in terms of our tools, we have a couple pairs of chain nose pliers. All right, great, Deborah, thank you. If you guys have any feedback, like Deborah, just let me know to move my hands down a little bit. It's really appreciated. I love, I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing, and it helps a lot if you let me know things like that. Okay, 2 pairs of chain nose. I have one that's really fine tipped and one that's a little bit bigger, so a little bit wider jawed. All right, and then I have a pair of cutters, and then my favorite tool, my wire looping pliers, and these are back in stock, guys. We've been out for a couple weeks. We sold out of them really quickly, and we just got a new batch in. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So we have these back in stock, and you'll see when I use them that because you've got one round nose and you have one curved, it actually does a lot of the work for you. So it's a pretty cool tool. And back in stock, yay. Okay, guys. So I like to design together. I did not have this piece finished. I don't have a sample ahead of time. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of build this as we go. So I had started to think that I would probably have him, of course, he's in the focal. And then I was like, well, I like the idea of building it up where we've got this one here, and then maybe branching off from it on either side are the greens. And then I thought would perhaps cut these guys and make little loops on either side to connect them. And then I have some jump rings on hand too. So I'm going to get this cut first and break this apart. You get a lot of them. They're pretty because they're quite large actually. Okay. So I'm going to see how that would look. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that. And then this one I wasn't sure if I was going to use or not, but I wanted to keep it on my table because it's just so darn pretty. Okay. So I think I'll be doing that. And then I have a smaller strand of these. These are little 3 millimeters of those ones that are round beads, but they look like pearls. Okay, so let's start doing an actual technique. I'm going to show you how to make this. So this is a combination of those Diamond Duo 2-hole beads and those pretty little English cut beads. So to do this, you're going to cut yourself some wire, and you're going to cut about 6 inches. So 5 to 6 inches, and you're going to bend it in the middle, but it's not going to be the direct middle. It'll be just a little bit off because you want one arm to be a little bit longer than the other one. You're going to make like a little bend, like so. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip on one of our 2-hole beads. So there's a top side to these guys. There's a flat side and a more pointed side. So this is what I'm calling the back. And then if you look at it, it's a little bit more peaked. I'm going to call that the front, the top, where it's got a little bit more of a point. So I'm just going to kind of straighten out these arms, and I'm going to slide this guy on. The long one first, and then the shorter one. So he's just going to go from the top down, and he's just going to slide all the way down. And you want to just make sure that there's a little gap here where you're going to be able to attach a jump ring later. Okay, so now we're going to put an English cut bead on either side. And good, my talking has slowed down a little. That scone was delicious this morning, but oh my goodness, it had so much sugar. Okay, and now when I slide on the next one, can't see what you're doing. Lower, please. Okay, so like lower, like this. Is that better, Deborah? Let me see. I'm going to see if I can even position my camera a little lower. Let's reposition here. Let's see. Okay, and move these out. So is that about right? Let's see if that is a little bit better. Oh, good. Okay, I got the thumbs up. Okay, and then we're going to slide on another one of them. And so I am paying attention that the peaked side is facing the same direction for both of the ones I've put on. And we're just going to slide that one down. Now we're going to do another English cut on both arms. Okay. And now we're going to do another Diamond Duo. And I think you could do this with a lot of the different shapes of 2-hole beads. Okay, and then Lori said, I just read that 2 broods of cicadas are emerging this spring. Oh, wow. Now, Lori, where are you? Because I remember when I lived in Texas, we had them, but I don't think we have them here in California. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crisscross. So we're going to cross here, and we're going to cross here. So we've just gone ahead and done that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our chain nose. Okay, Ohio. Oh, so you must have them there in Ohio. Yeah, I find it fascinating. Different parts of the country, different parts of the world, when you see what they have, the different types of not only animals, but insects. It's fascinating. When I lived in Portugal, we had fuzzy caterpillars, and they were poisonous. And you couldn't go and walk your dogs near them because they were very poisonous to the touch, but it took a lot to get used to. Okay, so I just took my pliers and I bent one straight up, and that's the taller one. That was the taller arm that I bent straight up. Now I'm just going to hold my beading, and I'm going to wrap with my hands the shorter one around it one time. So you've got that one loop, and we're using 22 gauge wire on purpose so that it's a nice sturdy wire. And we're going to trim what's left of that arm. I'd want to do several wraps if this was a 24 gauge wire, but because it's 22, I feel pretty good about its strength. Okay, so this is what we have now. And now we're gonna make a wrapped wire loop up top. So same way we'd normally make a wrapped wire loop. So we're just gonna grab it with our wire looping pliers, pinch, bend, rotate up, crisscross. And now I like to grab this little loop with my pliers. And then I'm gonna make a couple wraps. So there we've got a couple wrappings. And then trim your tail and tuck in your wire. And straighten it up. So we've got a little link, and we've actually made 4 of them already. Well, I made 4 of them. So it's just these little links now with our 2-hole beads. So that's kind of a fun thing to do, to be able to use those 2-hole beads. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make another link. So the other link I want to show you how to do is this little, almost like a wreath. So again, it's just with wire. And this one's a little bit finickier. It takes a little bit more manipulating of the wire, and I ended up using my chain nose pliers a lot. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. So here we've got the strand of these really pretty 6mm beads, and you could do this with any 6mm bead or 4mm. And now we're going to cut off more wire. Oh, thank you, Beverly. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut about 8 inches. And then, so what you're going to do on this one, you're just going to gently curve it a little bit too. And then, what are English beads? Asked Maxine. And I'm trying to get to the comments. They're kind of scrolling up fast, and so I'm trying to get to them as we go. So English cuts are, is a cut. So it's almost like a round bead, but it's got what to me looks like a little bit of an irregular cut to it, which makes it look very like Victorian, very old feeling. It's a nice cut to it. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on 6 of these pretty, what look like pearls. And Anne is joining us from Gardanne. Thank you, Anne, for being here. That's super fun. We are huge Gardanne fans. All right, so we're gonna scoot these guys down to the middle, and we're gonna just use our fingers to curve it. And you just want to keep gently curving it because you're going to make it become a round. So it becomes like a wreath. Okay, now this is the most difficult part of this, is you want it to try to overlap your wires. So I've got the wires crisscrossed right here. Hopefully you can see that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring one wire forward and through the center. Just like so. So if we can see that hopefully pretty clearly. And then you're going to keep wrapping it up and around. And you're going to want to go through the center again. Now what I found was easiest was to take my pliers, and we're going to go ahead and curve this piece here and try to bring it through the center again. And I found it was easier to do with my pliers than my fingers. Okay, so I went through again. And now I'm going to curve it one more time, but I'm going to stop. And I'm going to now go to the other side. And now I'm going to curve this one. So this started here, so I'm going to curve this one through here. Actually, yes. Lost track of where I was curving it. Okay, so it's going to come through here, and we're going to go down and through. And Robin's here. Oh, she's from Cleveland, Ohio, but now in Louisville. Yeah, there are there are a lot of people from Ohio today. It's fascinating. Okay, and then we're going to go through and up and over again. And we're really just making that wire do what we want it to do. And this is what I think I didn't realize when I started making jewelry, or even until recently, is there's really like no right or wrong, because you can have messy wire wraps, you can have neat wire wraps, you can make it into anything you want. And so we're just making this wire do what we want. Of course, you know, you can perfect your wire wraps and have them neat and tidy and all, but I think it's fun to kind of experiment and just think, well, what can I do with wire? What can I make it do? All right. So we've made these swirls around the beads. And then what we're going to do is, once we've done it a couple times and you feel like you're quite a ways away from that center point, so that you know it's not going to come undone, especially with this 22 gauge wire, we're going to trim our tail and tuck it in. And just tuck it in between those beads. All right, and then finish up the other side too. And once you feel like you've got enough swirls and you're happy, you're just gonna trim that tail too. And you're gonna tuck it in. Ooh, that would be fun. Lori says that'd be fun with twisted wire. Absolutely, this would be really fun with twisted wire. Okay, so we've made some swirls. So we made like a little wreath with wire swirls around it. Now, how do you connect this to your piece of jewelry? That was the next challenge. And what I came up with was this. So you've got more wire wrapping happening. We're going to use those English cut beads again and these pretty 6mm. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to take a little sip of water, guys. Okay, so to do that, you're going to need more wire. And we're going to cut off about 5 more inches again. And I'm just estimating it's between 4 and 5. And what we're going to do is we're going to find 2 points that are across from each other on our newly created little round. I think we're going to do this one here and this one here. So we'll have 3 beads on each side. We're going to put the wire through the middle. And again, it's not going to be to the halfway point. We're going to do it so it's about, not quite halfway, but almost. I'd say 1/3 here and 2/3 here, maybe a little off of that as well, but that's about. And then we're going to bend it up, crisscross again. And then what we want to do is we want to take the short arm and wire wrap it around the long arm. Oh, yay, Deborah finally knows what she's going to do with all her pearl beads. Hooray! Okay, so we're just going to wire wrap this. You could do a couple wrappings. And when you've done a couple wrappings, you're going to trim it. And tuck that tail. Always tuck your tails. And the reason you're doing that is because you don't want this to scratch on your skin. You don't want it, and that tail is a little too long. I'm going to go in and retrim that. You don't want to scratch on your skin. You don't want to snag on your sweater. Especially with this being a necklace, you really want to make sure that it's not going to snag you or your clothing. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to string on 1 English cut, 1 of these pretty round beads. I just always want to call them pearls because they look like pearls to me, but they're so, so pretty. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create now a wrapped wire loop up here. So here's these wire looping pliers again. They're going to come in handy. And we're going to grab right, not exactly where it exits the bead, but pretty close. And we're going to squeeze, rotate up, crisscross. And I have too much wire here. I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off. Okay. And now we're going to hold it and we're going to wrap. And some people like to do 2 wraps. Some people like to do 3. Totally up to you. Okay, trim it. Hi, Lakita from Florida. Thank you for joining us. If anyone is joining us midway through, we do have this on a replay. You can always watch these. They are archived, so they are available 24/7. You can always go back and rewatch, especially if you want to relearn a technique and watch it again. It's nice to be able to do that. Okay, so now we're going to do that on the other side. And so we're going to do some more wire. Okay, same thing. So just remember to do it where it's directly across from it. So 3 beads on each side. And we're going to go through the middle again. And come up. Crisscross. And you can bend this top one that's going to be your longer one. You can bend it upright a little bit. So give it like a little notch. Oh, thank you, Tara. I'm glad that you're loving this tutorial. And Lakita, thank you for being able to be here and watch the live as well. We are loving our community. It has been so great to be able to do these lives, talk to everybody, hear where everyone's from, see what they like to do. Oh, and we do have a Facebook page, Serious Art Beaders, and you can go to that Facebook page and share what you're making too, because we really want to see what everyone else is making. So please go to that Serious Art Beaders, and you can see, post your pictures and then see what everyone else is up to too. Wouldn't that look pretty with the wire wrap all the way down around the other beads? Yes, I think it really would too, Robin. That'd be a really pretty option too. Okay, so we got the wire wrap. Now, one tip too is if you're having troubles tucking your ends, it can be easier sometimes to go back and tuck them after you've done all this. So like I didn't tuck this end right here. I'm going to go back once this is done and tuck that end. Because sometimes it is easier to go back and do it once you've finished your wrappings. Okay. Yeah, I like handmade components. I like when we can take wire and beads and make unique components out of them. I think it adds a really interesting, unique take on designs. Okay, and then let me tuck this end back here. Okay, here we go. So there is our custom link. So I did one ahead of time, so we got 2 of those. Oh, wouldn't that be a pretty pair of earrings? That'd be really pretty. Then you put a dangle down at the bottom. Maybe another Gardanne piece. That would be so pretty, like long dramatic earrings. Okay, so let's go back. We've got our cicada, and now we've got 2 of these, and we've got 4 of these because I did do up a couple ahead of time. And so we're building our necklace as we're going. So what I want to do is I want to take a couple of these ones here and just do really simple, a wire wrapped loop on each side for them. There's my wire end. Huh. I have lost my wire end somewhere in here. There it is. Okay. I was about to do a beading no-no and just cut a new end. I don't know if anyone else has done that. It kind of creates a mess later, but sometimes you get desperate. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a bit of this, and I'm going to do 3 inches or so. And so here we go. I'm going to create a wrapped wire loop on one end. And straighten out my wire. Tuck that end a little bit. All right, and then these are so pretty just by themselves. I feel like this is a really nice bead that doesn't need a lot with it because it's got so much nice sparkle in the center of it. Okay. Hi, Annette from North Carolina. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. This is a really fun one to shop for. Oh my gosh, I had such fun picking out the colors and just working off that Gardanne focal. I think sometimes finding your color palette can be challenging, and so it's really nice when you have something like the Gardanne pieces that have such beautiful colors to them that you can just pick the rest of your beads to match, which is exactly what I did here. Okay, so now we've got this. So this is now done, our little link, and I think I'm going to perhaps put that in between. No, I really like those greens coming off of that. Maybe I'll put it down here. Yeah, I'm going to put it down there. Okay, so then we're going to do another one just like that. And then I honestly haven't decided yet if I want this necklace to slip over the head or I want to put a clasp on it. I did bring a clasp onto my beading mat because I think it probably will be a clasp. But it's also one of those designs that you can keep making these links and just slip it over your head. It's a great option for that. Okay. Put this one on. And I think I'm going to want 4 of these because I think I want them up top too. So I think I want to start with one here, end with one here, and then I think we're going to go into the chain. So I think that'll be a really nice balance where you have like these nice focal beads and then you've got all your custom links and then you end with a focal bead and then you go into a chain on the back. I think that's going to be the pattern we're going to follow. And I totally agree. I see earrings too. I am such an earring person. I love earrings. I think you can definitely make these links into earrings and then you can combine them with other pretty Gardanne pieces as well. Oh, did I bring it out? Oh yes, this is one of my favorite Gardanne pieces. I love the pinwheel. So that would be really pretty at the base for like a summer earring. If you've got a custom wire link right here and then you have the pretty pinwheel, that'd be a beautiful earring. Okay, and then let's do 2 more of those. And then, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this in this project, but it is really, really pretty with that focal. Okay. Lots and lots of links, lots of wire wrapping, but not very hard. So hopefully that came across that it's really different looking wire wrapping to make like that little wreath of beads or to make the 2-hole bead link, but it wasn't challenging. It wasn't like super difficult. Oh yes, Lori, please do check out Gardanne. It's so beautiful. All these artisan pieces and they're enameled brass. They're so beautiful and the colors are great. We have a lot on Art Beads, so definitely check them out. All different styles too. There's beautiful flowers, there's pendants, there's those pinwheels, there's seahorses, a lot of things that are great for spring and summer, leaves for fall. Oh, Becky's joining us. Hi, Becky. So Becky's show is tomorrow, so you'll have to check her out. So it'll be fun to see what she's going to be up to tomorrow. And she just had our first ever trunk show yesterday. So she's been super busy. She was showing all these other pretty check glass bead strands. All right, there's another one. So this one's gonna go up top. So this is how I do it. I don't know if everyone else is like this, but I like to lay out my design as I do it on my beading mat. It kind of lets me look at the scale and make sure that everything's lining up how I want it to line up. So let me pull down a little bit more here. Okay. So I have to tell you guys, I was making wire loops with round nose pliers yesterday. It took me a while to remember how to do it because I always use the wire looping pliers. It was a little bit of a struggle, I have to admit. So I am using gold wire. It says silver plated on the packaging as well. So it says silver plated, but it is gold color. So, but I can definitely see how that can be a little confusing. So thank you, Jane, for asking. I appreciate you inquiring about that. Yeah, it's definitely gold though. Artistic wire does come in silver, though. It also comes in like a pretty antique brass. So if you do a lot with vintage components, the artistic wire antique brass color matches really nicely. Okay, so we did our little wraps. Trim our tail, tuck our end. So I think we've made all the different components. And now it's time to link them together. So I have to do a little experimenting to make sure that this guy hangs straight. So what I have here is I have little jump rings, and these are open jump rings, and they're in that shopping bag too. So if you click on that shopping bag icon, you'll see exactly what these ones are. And then I have a closed one that I have set aside for the clasp. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm also going to use it down here at the base to make this hang properly. So you see here we have a hole right here, which is nice. And I did already test that my smaller jump ring would go through it and have fine clearance. So I'm just going to open that up. And Christine is joining us from Washington. She says, great pendant. I agree, Christine. I love this pendant. Okay, so we're going to slip that jump ring on there. And I think before I close it, I'm going to put on my closed larger pendant, jump ring. Okay, come on. Okay, you need to just go there. There we go. Okay, and we're going to close this up. Okay, so now we've got two jump rings on here. And what I want is I want to now have all of our links come off from that larger closed jump ring. So I'll need to open another jump ring, one of the smaller ones. And I'm going to link it to the jump ring and to one of my links. Oh, I like the sound that makes. If you guys can hear that, it's like a little bit of like a jingly sound. Like I really like that. Kind of makes me want to put something behind here and have it almost like a bell. Okay, so there we've got that. And now I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. Oh, a wing sound. Yes, that would be so fun. Okay, so I'm going to link that jump ring again. Yeah, I really love the sound. Okay, so let's see. Okay, good. All right, so this is what we've got as our connector here. So if you look at it when it hangs on your neck, because of how we've oriented that center jump ring, it's gonna hang facing forward. And that's what I really wanted to make sure would happen. If you would have gone off of just that one jump ring and not put the second one on there, it would have hung like this. So we don't want that. So good, it's gonna hang forward. Now we're gonna connect all the things that we've made. And this is the fun part. This is the building part. Well, it's all fun, but this is part of the, like, I like seeing it all come together. Okay, so remember we left that little loop there at the base of our link that we made? So that was just enough space to easily put a jump ring through. Close the jump ring. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the other side, and there's no right or wrong side to this one that we made. So it's gonna look great from either side. Okay, we're just connecting these together. Okay, and we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep stringing these together using our jump rings. So here's what we have so far. If you can kind of see what this like pretty strand we're making with all these custom links. And now we're going to do this other really pretty bead here at the end. And then we'll go to the other side and make the other side identical so it's symmetrical. But you could have fun making this asymmetrical. This could be a design that would look really pretty if you had that cicada in the front and then you did a asymmetrical beadwork on the sides. That could be fun too. All right, one side done. Okay, let's do the other side. All this green makes me think of St. Patrick's Day coming up. Is anyone doing anything for St. Patrick's Day? I can't believe it's already here. Well, here this weekend. We were in Ireland last May? No, July. We were in Ireland last July. We were in Dublin. It was very fun. Stay on there. There you go. Okay. Almost got this part done. Here's how it's building. And got a couple more up here to do. And then I think I will use the chain. And I will go ahead and I'll put a clasp on this one just to show you how to do that. But I think this would, like I said, this would be a really pretty design too if you wanted to just make a slip over the head design. Okay, and one more. Okay, so all of our links are connected. So this is what we've got. So you see how this looks. So that really beautiful piece for your focal, and then you've got all these links. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the chain. So here's our chain. Now, if you wanted to put a few more links, make it a little bit longer and just do a necklace that could go over the head, you would simply just go ahead and not cut this chain and attach the chain with 2 jump rings to your 2 ends. Very, very easy to do. I am going to put a clasp on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center point of my chain, and I'm just going to do that by folding it in half until I find the center link. So both of my ends line up. And then I just find the center link and I'm just going to cut right through it. And now I've got 2 equal halves. And so I'm going to put a jump ring on each. I'm going to get my clasp out. So that same larger jump ring that we used in the focal is going to be the other half of our clasp. So I have a little lobster. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open a jump ring. Connect it to the end wrapped wire loop of all of our links. And then the end, oh, this is good to know. Okay, so I cut it and it has like a little half an infinity link. So we need to cut that off. So to cut that off, just go up real close, but be very careful. And make sure you have a nice whole link at the end. Let me check my other sides too while I'm at it. Okay. So some chains you don't have to, of course, worry about this with, but this one, because it's got the infinity links. So there is a little hole right there. Let's see. Can you guys see that? So you might be able to get a jump ring through that. I am not confident in that, so I am going to just trim that off because it's pretty easy to trim. And then this one here was cut. So a little bit of chain maintenance there. Okay, now we're good to go. So I've got my jump ring. I've got my good chain link. Just going to slip that together. And my chain nose pliers. Okay. And then on the other end, we're going to go up here and add our lobster clasp. So the end chain link, the lobster. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, and then our necklace will be done. So the chains are 6 inches each. I started with 1 foot of chain, and I just cut it in half, so 6 inches each. So I'd say this necklace, oh, here, look. The chains are 6 inches, and then our bead work is just over 6 inches on each side. So you're looking at probably about a 25-inch necklace for these exact components linked together the way that I've linked them. But you, of course, can modify that. You can add more, you can do fewer, whichever you like. So fun thing about jewelry is we all learn from each other and get ideas from each other, but we also all bring our own artistic take to it. And it's fun to see how, you know, even with the same components, we can create such different designs. Okay, we're done. We did it. Yay. And I love all the hearts. Thank you guys. Okay, there's our necklace with our custom components and that beautiful focal piece. That focal piece was really what started this whole project. So there we go. So that is all done. And then I'm going to show you this other pretty Gardanne piece because you could do something very similar. And I put these beads in that shopping cart as well. So if you wanted to see what these were, again, we're just pulling out the colors of the enameled brass, this Gardanne piece. So that's, you know, a really fun way to pick your color palette, but you can do these custom links with this as well. And pull out your 2-hole beads. Don't forget to pull out your 2-hole beads because they're not just for bead weaving. You can go ahead and string them and wire wrap them and do all sorts of fun stuff with them too. All right. So I am going to go ahead and flip my camera up real quick and be able to say goodbye for the day. Okay. Hello, garden. Hey, it's getting sunny. All right. Hi, guys. Thank you. I love this piece so much. So here we go. There it is. So this is what it would look like. Let me see if I can get, sit forward. There you go. So that's what it would look like if you had it on. So a nice dramatic piece. And you really see those links. They really pop. All right. Thank you, Lakita, Robin, Anne, Diane, everybody, thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. I will be back next week, and next week I am making sun catchers. So I am making colorful sun catchers using snowflake forms. So I'm really excited about that one too. And then Becky's here tomorrow and Sarah is here on Friday. So keep looking at that artbeads.com/live page. We have so much fun and the designers are just popping with ideas, and we've got new trunk shows happening too. So lots of fun stuff. I see all those hearts. Thank you guys. It has been really fun doing this. If anyone joined late, catch that replay. These are all archived, and don't forget to share and close out your shopping carts if you want to play with all these fun beads. All right, bye guys.